Hello guys, today we are at the Apolonia National Park, which is located close to the city of Hercelia in Israel. And this is a really a nice park, but also a site of an ancient settlement of the Crusaders. So I'll be showing you some shots from this place, and I'll be talking more about it as we go. So this is a place which is known as Apollonia, and the first settlements of this site were founded actually by the Phoenicians at the end of the 6th century BC. The Phoenicians called the place Arsuf, which is a name after one of their deities, Reshef, god of war. As you know, the Phoenicians were a sea people. They were famous for their journeys through the ships, and Israel also had many problems and many wars with the Phoenician people. So the first settlements on this spot were actually created by those sea people. The Phoenicians, they exploited the sea, and they were fishing here for snails, from which they would make a special purple dye that they would use and later export to other places. So this is the place they did it. Later on, in the Hellenistic period, between the 4th to the 1st century BC, the residents of Arsuf identified Reshef with the god Apollo, and therefore renamed the city Apollonia. Later, the coastal plain, including Apollonia, was captured by the Hashmoneans. Also, what is interesting is that the historian Joseph Flavius mentions Apollonia as one of the coastal cities So we are at the place where a Crusader fortress used to stand, and you can see in the background a group of tourists that are going back from this place. So let's go check it out and see how it looks.
ראית את המצלמה הזאת?
So actually it was not a group of tourists. They might have been terrorists, but they were local terrorists from Israel, because I heard them speaking Hebrew. So it's just people from Israel visiting this place. Here you can see a night, I guess, some kind. People relaxing in the shade. Today it's about 26 degrees, I guess, but the sun is really strong, so it's nice to have a hat. And some people agreeing that the sun was strong. People are very friendly in Israel. They like to start conversations, start talking to you for no reason, just to be friendly. Usually most of the people know English. There are a few languages which is good to know in Israel. One is English, another one is Russian, and I guess the third one would be Arabic. But of course Hebrew is the #1 language, and if you want to live in Israel you should know Hebrew. Otherwise it's going to be quite difficult for you to live here, to find a good job. So you can see the beautiful coastline, and this fortress was built here to fortify the coastline. And actually the Crusaders had many of those forts located on the coastline. Usually they picked a place, a location which was a fortified place in the past, so they didn't have to really look around and see where they can build a fort, because they just used what they already had. So let's go up, see the view from here. You can see a graphic giving you an idea how it could have looked, but it's just a suggestion based on the walls you can see now. So of course Israel became very important during the times of the Crusaders. A revival of this place began because Christianity wanted to rediscover the Holy Land, the place connected so much with the Christian religion. And Crusaders were the warriors, those that were supposed to take back the land from the Muslim people that were occupying it at the time. And this battle for this land is taking place for a long time. So this is actually the first time I'm here, so it's interesting for me to see. So I'm glad I was able to make this trip. I was thinking about going to Haifa today, but I decided to go to Hercelia, which is closer from where I'm staying now. And another group here, again speaking in Hebrew, so a Hebrew speaking group. And this is it's quite big, this place is quite big. You can see Netanya in the background, the big buildings. This is Netanya where we were yesterday. So here you can see a dining hall. This is where the Crusaders would eat. So it's a bigger room. You can see the graphic in the background showing how it might have looked again. And this is something really nice about Israel, that you can come and do a tour on your own. There's so many places, historical places, are very interesting in Israel. Everywhere you go, you find old stones. Every civilization, every major civilization used to want to control this place. So that's why it's amazing that this country is so small. It's connecting Africa, Asia and Europe. It's a land bridge between these continents, and everybody wanted to control it, even though there was not a lot of natural resources here. Everybody wanted to be here and control this place. And of course, a lot of Crusaders were coming to the Holy Land by ships, and that's why you had so many forts on the coast to protect the routes of the ships that were coming in, because people were actually bringing from Europe a lot of money. Some of them wanted to show their gratitude in this way, to build certain things in the Holy Land. And of course, back then, instead of bringing the gold yourself, you would hire a ship. You would hire, for example, an order of the knights that would guarantee you safe passage of your gold to the Holy Land. And of course they would take interest. So that was one of the first one of the ways that they did banking back then. You would entrust your money to order of the knights, or people that were specializing in transporting money to the Holy Land, and you did not transport it yourself. They did that for you. So when you got here, your money was already here, and you could begin building. You could begin doing stuff, investing in the things that were important to you. Especially the Christians did that. They wanted to rebuild the churches, they wanted to rebuild the shrines connected to the Christian religion. And in return, the Pope would grant them penance or some other rewards, spiritual rewards that they were receiving. So here you can see some of the siege weapons they used to protect the coastline. It's a ballista over here, a catapult, some kind of small trebuchet, and another machine that was used to destroy the walls. I don't know how it's called actually. I'll check it out. It's also a nice place. You can see a lot of wildlife here, especially birds. Israel is a country for which an enormous amount of birds fly through as they travel from Europe to Africa. They choose this place as their own highway to a much warmer place when it's winter in Europe and in Asia. So it's a good spot to just observe different kind of birds. You can come here in different seasons to observe different birds. So Israel is a really good place for people who like to watch birds, observe them, and just they have an excellent opportunity to do that in Israel. Here you can see the fort from a different side, looking from the north. So you see the cliff, and on top of it the Crusader castle, Crusader fortress was located. And again, now we're looking to the north, and you see the white buildings in the far distance. This is Netanya. So the water is, as you can see, a Turkish kind of color. Looks very clean. So here you can see a wine press, which is about 1,500 years old. So you see a kind of stone mosaic, which was the floor, in a big open area, a hall. And this is where the grapes would be crushed, and juice would go in. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this episode about Apollonia National Park, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon. Shalom.